Hi everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to be doing another full face of my neglected makeup. I did one of these about a month ago and I said I wanted to make this a series where I go through my collection and pick out a full face of products that I know don't get a ton of use from me. This is kind of another way I'm really trying to focus on using all of my makeup collection this year. So we're going to be doing another one of those videos today. If you're new here, my name is Blair. I do all kinds of beauty content here on YouTube every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So I hope you'll stick around, subscribe if you haven't already, and let's get started. All right, I did not pick a primer this time. I just kind of want to go right into Corrector. So for Corrector, I pulled out this one from Tarte. This is the Colored Clay CC Under Eye Corrector in light medium. So I actually, before I even had a YouTube channel, I've been through one or two of these. This was one of the first correctors I ever tried. And I purchased it again probably, I don't know, 6 months ago, maybe a little bit more than that, and I just haven't been reaching for it. It's a good corrector from what I remember, but it's a little bit on the light side, a little bit lighter than what I like sometimes, but I figured we would use it today for this video. So I believe it comes in 2 shades. I think it comes in a light medium and then a medium deep, I want to say. But I'm going to actually use this little brush instead of my finger. Yeah, so you could probably see it's pretty light. It does have that kind of peachy undertone, but it's just a little bit lighter than what I like now for a corrector. It's definitely a little bit of a thicker formula. These days, I definitely prefer a liquid corrector. I haven't been reaching for my creams as much. I don't know why, I tend to reach for the liquids a little bit more. I think it's because they're just a little more lightweight and sometimes they're a little bit easier to apply. But I'm just gonna kind of blend this in under my eyes. This formula has been around for a long time, so it's not anything new. I feel like in the last few years, the correctors that have come out have been so good that this is just kind of a formula I forget about now. But I figured we could go ahead and use it today. For foundation, I actually picked this MAC Studio Radiance foundation. This is the Serum Powered Foundation. I have shade NC17. The main reason this one's neglected is because of the shade. Typically this shade is too dark for me, but I did apply, yeah, it's probably still going to be a little bit dark. I do have some self-tan on right now, but it's kind of faded. It's been on for a little while, so I'm thinking this might still be a little bit dark. Let's just try it. I tried this in a video a while ago, and I liked the formula. It was just the shade is pretty deep for me, but we'll go ahead and try it. And if it's too dark, we'll just try to fix it with some concealer. Yeah, so this foundation from MAC, from what I've seen other people saying, does run dark. So this is definitely one you would want to shade down in. I'm going to use my BK Beauty 106 as always. Yeah, definitely a little bit dark, but it's all right. We'll make it work with concealer. If I had filmed this video like a week ago, it probably wouldn't have been a perfect match when my tan was more fresh on my skin, but it's a little bit faded now. Definitely a little bit dark, but I think we can fix it with concealer. Actually, what this foundation reminds me of is this. I was blending this in and I kept thinking, this really reminds me of something, and I realized it's this Maybelline Skin Tint. I've been using this a lot in the last few weeks, and yeah, this is definitely very similar. Very similar texture, very similar look, coverage, finish, very, very similar. For concealer, the one I pulled out is this one from Givenchy. This is the Prisme Libre Skin Caring Concealer. This is a great concealer, and the reason I don't reach for this one much is usually because of the coverage level. I wish this had just a little bit more coverage. It's a really, really nice hydrating formula. It's just a little bit less on the coverage side than what I normally like. This is the shade C180. Yeah, C180, which is actually a pretty good shade for me. I'm gonna put some here underneath my cheekbones, kind of in the center of my face. But this is a really nice formula. It's definitely something that I neglect for sure. Okay, I'm gonna blend the center of my face first. I like to blend the area that I want the least coverage from the concealer first. This concealer actually reminds me of the Armani Luminous Silk concealer. That one is kind of the same way. I have that concealer also, and I really like that concealer. I just wish it had just a little bit more coverage. Just a little bit more, but that's kind of what this one reminds me of. I'm gonna switch to a Sigma F03 brush for under my eyes, because I like this brush in particular when I really want to spread the concealer, especially with thinner formulas like this. This one does a really good job of doing that just because of the shape, and it's fluffy enough that you can really kind of spread and blend. For bronzer, I pulled out this one from Saie. This is the Sun Melt bronzer in the shade Light Bronze. This, I feel like for the most part, I use my cream bronzers, but of all of them, I think this is the one I definitely use the least. I don't really know why I like this bronzer. I don't think I've ever just fallen totally in love with it, so I guess maybe that's why I don't use it a ton. But we'll use it today, and I'm going to use it with this Sigma, or not Sigma, the Nikki LaRose. Is this the N15? Yeah. I'm trying to learn the numbers for these Nikki LaRose brushes, because I keep forgetting them, but this one's the N15. I've been loving this brush for cream bronzer, which is not really what I would think I would use this for based on like the shape of it, but I've really been liking it for that. It's small, but not like too small. And I think I like the tip of it, like it's a tapered tip, so it gets a little bit smaller here. I don't know, I've really been liking it though. Also, this Saie bronzer is in the shade Light Bronze. I do think this is a better match for me right now when I have this color. If I am more fair, I would probably need their fair bronze shade that they have now. I don't have that one. So that's another reason I think I don't use this one as much. I actually tried a new, or it's not new, but it's new to me, a new self-tanner, the Coco and Eve one. I think it's just, I'll have to go look it up. I'll link the one below that I used, but I was pleasantly surprised. I really liked it. It was easy to use, very easy to apply. I used their mitt and everything, and I really liked it. So I do recommend it. I'll link it below for you if you're looking for a new one. It also didn't smell horribly, which is nice because, you know, sometimes self-tanners can have that really gross smell. That one does not. I did pull out a powder blush right here, but I don't know if I want to apply it over this wet base, so I think we might use the powder that I picked first. This is the One Size Ultimate Setting Powder in the Ultra Pink color. Now, I don't really know how the Ultra Pink is going to go with the tones of this makeup, but I don't use this powder hardly ever. I bought it back when it came out, when this was like pink was the craze with powder. I guess it kind of still is, but I don't use this one much. If I use a pink powder, I typically use the Givenchy one, but I want to try this again. So I think I'm kind of nervous to apply this all over, but I think we're gonna try it. So I'm just gonna kind of swirl it into the brush and just do a light dusting of this powder because I don't want to do too much. Gonna apply it kind of right in the center of my face. And then I'll just kind of tap around everywhere else very, very lightly. I feel like the pink powder craze is kind of dying out. I don't know. What do you guys think? I feel like people still use them, but it's not like that like crazy popular thing that it was like a year ago. All right, let's move into blush. Now this is, I don't know the last time I used this, truly. This is such an old school product. The Bare Minerals Loose Blush in the shade Hint. I can remember, I don't know, like 4 years, maybe not 4 years, but maybe 4 or 5 years, honestly. This blush in Hint from Bare Minerals was like very popular, very, very popular. I remember hearing Shelby Wilson talk about this, and I have not used it in a long time. So we're gonna use it. I'm gonna use this Smashbox Buildable Cheek Brush, and with these, I usually just kind of get them in the cap and just really work it in the brush so you can't really see it, and apply. I think these blushes work the best with natural bristles from what I remember, but I don't have a natural bristle brush near me, so we're just gonna go with this one. I'm gonna add a little bit more. If you remember this blush, or maybe you have it or you had it at one point, leave it in the comments. I feel like this was definitely one of their best sellers for a long time. All right, let's move into brows. I am gonna use something different than I've been using. I pulled out this from Kosas. This is the Nano brow. Or the Nano Pop brow. And it's probably the tiniest brow pencil like I've ever seen. Do you see how tiny this is? So small. Pretty much all of my brow pencils at the moment are neglected because I've been using my brow powder every single day. But I figured this is a good brow pencil. I just haven't been reaching for brow pencils lately. But figured we would use it. This is the shade Medium Brown. This one is so tiny, you really can do a lot of detail filling in with it. And it's very like realistic looking because the shape is so small. All right, finish my brows. I did use this Jane Iredale Pure Brow Gel. None of my brow gels are really neglected. I feel like I kind of rotate them pretty frequently, but I haven't used this one lately, so I used it. And for the eyes, the main thing I want to use is a few of my shadow sticks. And I love these from Bobbi Brown, so I wanted to use them today. I have 2 of the Longwear cream shadow sticks. One of them is the shade Taupe, and one of them is the shade Golden Bronze. Taupe is matte, Golden Bronze is more of a metallic. I will insert some swatches here so you could see them. But I thought we could just do a really easy, very few product eye look today. And we're gonna start with this. I'm not even gonna prime my eyes. I'm just gonna go right in with the shadow stick. This one is Taupe. So I'm gonna apply this on the lid and up just a little bit, and then just take a fluffy eyeshadow brush and blend it out. This shade is such a nice neutral. Like, look at that one shade on its own. I forgot actually how pigmented that shade is, so probably should have applied a little bit less, but that's okay. I'm gonna get a clean brush that doesn't have anything on it at all and blend a little bit more. So yeah, less is more with these. I haven't used this formula in a little while, and I'm remembering now this shade in Taupe is just, it's a pretty deep shade for my skin tone at least. So you don't need a lot of it. It kind of reminds me of Trench from Victoria Beckham, but Trench is a little bit lighter. It's not as pigmented as this one. So you don't really have to be as careful with that one. All right, let's do the other side. I'm gonna do a little bit less over here, but I do just really love a shadow stick. I really want to start using mine more. The one that I've used the most in the last few months is the Victoria Beckham in the shade Trench. And this Bobbi Brown formula is really very, very long wearing. Truly, they do, once they set for sure. Something I will do sometimes, I don't know if I've ever talked about this in a video, but if I ever apply specifically cream shadows and like I want to tone down the color a little bit, I will take a barely damp sponge, like barely damp, and go over it. And it doesn't take it away, but it just kind of picks up any excess and just tones it down just slightly. So that's a good trick for you if you ever get in a situation where you want to tone down cream shadow somehow. Basically does what a sponge does on your face when you go over, after you've done your cream products and you go over with a barely damp sponge, just kind of blends everything together, picks up any excess. It does the same thing on your eyes. All right, now I'm gonna take the other shade, which is Golden Bronze, and I'm gonna put this on my lash line. Kind of just not precise or anything, and I'm basically doing like the outer half of my eye. And then I'm gonna use my 210 from BK Beauty and just smudge it out and kind of pull it out a little bit. This shade is also really nice on its own without the taupe underneath it. I like this Golden Bronze color as like a one and done also, but I figured I'd use both since I have both colors, but it also looks good on its own. And I actually have, I don't know which video is coming first, so it might not be out yet, but I am going to be doing a top like one and done eyeshadow video soon. So if it's not out when this video comes out, it's coming. Do the same thing on this eye. All right, I'm gonna use the same 210 from BK Beauty, and I'm gonna get a little bit of that Golden Bronze color, and I'm gonna smudge that under my eye as well, just for a little definition down here. Oh, this is such a good color. I did pull out this eyeliner from Give. This is the Line It Up 24-hour gel pencil in Greener Pastures, which is a beautiful olivey green color. So I was gonna use this on my lash line, but I think I'm just gonna try putting it in the waterline instead. Maybe we'll do a little bit on the lash line. And then just gonna take that same brush. This is a great brush for smudging out liner or just any like small detail work. This 210 from BK Beauty. Alright, for mascara, I pulled out the Victoria Beckham Future Lash Mascara. This isn't really neglected technically, but I haven't been using it. I've been using the e.l.f. one and the Clinique one the most regularly. So I figured we'll use this probably nearing the end of its life here. I like this mascara, but I don't love it. It's a little bit on the dry side for me. Like the formula is very dry. And mine's been like that since I opened it. So I don't know. I don't know if that's just kind of the way this formula is. It's just a very, very, very dry formula. But it does lengthen the lashes. It doesn't add a ton of volume, but it does add some nice length for sure. Last, for lips, I couldn't decide between these two liners, so I just pulled them both out. I figured we would decide. One of them is the Tower 28 one liner in Work of Art, which is right there. This is a good liner. It's just not one that I reach for a lot. And then this is the Patrick Ta liner in She's Proud. This is another good liner. I don't reach for it much. Patrick Ta one's definitely more brown. The Tower 28 is a little bit more rosy. You might use a little bit of both, honestly. I guess we'll start with the Patrick Ta in She's Proud. All right, I applied that mainly to the center of my lips. And then I'm gonna take the Tower 28 one and kind of go over it and do the sides. For the lips, I pulled this out. This is a Dior lipstick, the Dior Addict. I don't know, it just says Dior Addict on it in the shade 527 Atelier. This is kind of a rosy color, so I was thinking it might look good with that Bare Minerals blush, but let's see. Oh yeah. Oh, that's a good lip color. I totally forgot about this. This is a very moisturizing, hydrating lipstick. It's not crazy pigmented. You do get some pigment, as you can see, but it's not anything super intensely pigmented. But it feels really nice on my lips. All right, this is the finished makeup. I like how this turned out. I'm glad I pulled some of these things out. Definitely rediscovered a few things in this video, which is my main goal in this video series. I really want to make sure I'm using things, remember things I haven't used lately. This MAC foundation is beautiful. It's just a little dark typically for me, but I'm glad to have it. When I do self-tan, I can use this one, but it's very nice. Like I said, reminds me of the Maybelline skin tint for sure. The only thing I'm not like crazy about is the under eyes. They're not bad, but they are a little bit creasy if you look like really, really close. You'd have to be really close to me to see it, but I don't know. It could be. I did notice when I used this Tarte corrector, it seemed a little bit drier than I remember it. I always thought of this as more of a hydrating cream formula, but I don't know. It was a little bit thick feeling and not as hydrating as I remember. So it might have something to do with that, because this Givenchy concealer is not thick at all. So I don't know. I don't love the under eyes, but I like everything else for the most part. Even this One Size powder, I mean, it maybe it's because I used very little, but it doesn't look overly pink on my skin. I do think it did a really nice job of kind of smoothing and mattifying my skin. Saie bronzer was nice. The eye look I absolutely love, but I'm really glad I pulled these shadow sticks out again, especially the golden bronze color. Such a good, warm, metallic bronze for truly great for a one and done eyeshadow if you like those kinds of colors. And the lip combo I like, especially this lipstick. Like I said, I totally forgot about this color. I forgot I had this lipstick from Dior, but it's beautiful. Love it. Okay. Hope you enjoyed the video. I will have everything that I used listed and linked for you in the description box. As always, they are affiliate links that support my channel when you use them. Thank you so much. If you're new, I hope you'll subscribe and make sure you're following me on Instagram at simply.blair. And if you're on TikTok, I'm there as well at simply.blair1. And I will see you again very soon for another video. Remember, simply be you. Bye.